Hola,
Hola, hola, hola, ¿cómo están? Creo que ya
¿cómo
estamos
están?
transmitiendo. Oigan, pues les queremos platicar que tuvimos la oportunidad de entrevistar, bueno, estamos teniendo la oportunidad de entrevistar hoy en estos momentos, hoy que es viernes,
Viernes 23 de octubre, si no me
1 de la
equivoco.
tarde en Los Ángeles, 3 de la tarde en México. Tenemos la oportunidad de entrevistar en vivo a la señora Jill Biden, esposa de Joe Biden. Queremos hacer muchas preguntas porque hay muchos temas que nos preocupan a los latinos que vivimos en este país, en Estados Unidos. Hay muchos temas que queremos tratar, queremos preguntar. ¿Cómo nos va a tratar esta administración en caso de que el señor Biden llegue a la presidencia? ¿Cómo va a ser el trato hacia los latinos? Estos 4 años han sido difíciles para los latinos, ha habido muchas deportaciones, ha habido mucho racismo, muchos malos tratos. Entonces, queremos ver qué nos van a ofrecer esta nueva administración, ¿de acuerdo?
Así es, la verdad es que no conocíamos mucho sobre la doctora Jill Biden, pero la descubrimos a raíz de su discurso en la convención y a mí me parece una mujer maravillosa, una mujer que ha hecho muchísimo por su familia, muchísimo por los Estados Unidos y que me muero ganas de conocer ya. Obviamente nuestra conversación será en inglés. So I guess I'm gonna switch to English right now and give her a warm welcome. I can't wait to meet her, and let's just welcome her and see how everything is going. 2 weeks before the election. Oh my God! Let's see. Let's find her. Hold on.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
A ver, creo que ya se va a conectar. Qué emoción, qué padre tener esta oportunidad de poder
Hi.
entrevistar. Hi! Jill,
Hola.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Amazing. It's an honor. Thanks for your time. Thanks for chatting with us and especially with the audience that they're really waiting for to know a lot of things that we're concerned about, a lot of issues. So thanks for your time.
Thank you
You're
so.
welcome.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
your
for your time. We're so excited about this.
Uh,
So am I.
we first, let me tell you that we first fell in love with you after seeing your speech at the Democratic National Convention, where you spoke about your family and your history. Many of our viewers don't know a lot about your history. So we are wondering if you could give the viewers a quick background on yourself.
Okay, so let's see. I'll start quickly. I grew up the oldest of 5 girls in a suburb outside of Philadelphia. And so I decided to go to the University of Delaware. And when I was a senior there, I met Joe. And many of your viewers may or may not know Joe's wife and daughter were killed in an accident right after he was elected to the United States Senate at age 29. And his
Wow.
2 sons survived. And then I met Joe years later when I was a senior, and he called me up and asked me out on a date out of the blue. I mean, out of the blue. And
Nothing is out of the blue.
and I thought, okay, I'll go out with him and see what he's like. And so you won't remember this, but it was in the 70s. So it was the guys were wearing tie-dye shirts and clogs and bell bottoms, and so he comes to my door, and I open the door, and oh my God, there he was in a perfect suit and leather loafers. And I thought, thank you. Oh my God, thank God this is only one date. And because I thought I'm never going to like this guy. And so I went out for the one date, and I thought, I'll never see him again. But actually, he was like so interesting and fun. I never expected it. And because I thought, oh, he's so serious. And so anyway, we hit it off, and then we dated for 2 years, and we got, he asked me to marry him. I mean, pretty soon after we started dating, but I kept holding him off because I felt like, oh my gosh, it just wasn't my heart on the line. I mean, here were these 2 little boys that I loved so dearly, and I thought this marriage must work. They
Yes.
can't lose another mommy because of a divorce.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And so I waited, until I felt like 100% our marriage would be till death do us part.
Wow.
And here it is 43 years later.
Wow.
So,
43 years. Oh my
Yes.
God.
That's one of the things that I love about you, and that we can totally relate to, because we Latinos are very much about family. We're all about family and sticking together and being there for
Yes.
each other. And you are a family woman. Joe is a family man, and I know that you have been through so much together and have and are together, and you're such an inspiration. I know that you've been traveling a lot, both virtually and in person lately, and it just feels like such an important time in U.S. history right now. I want to ask you, why is the choice between a Biden administration and a Trump administration so important? What do you think is the impact for all the families that you meet every single day and who are just tired of all the chaos?
I don't blame them for. I'm tired of all the chaos.
Yeah.
And there couldn't be two more polar candidates. And
Yes.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Joe is working for all Americans, and he's working for education, which of course, I'm 100% behind, and healthcare, and climate change. I mean, so many things that need to be changed in this country. He's working to end this pandemic, and we're not waiting. We're starting now. We've been working on this for months now, so that when Joe is elected, we start right away, helping our military families. There's just so much to do. And
Yes.
So I think when people are deciding, like, who do I want to vote for, they, like you're saying, they have to look at the values of the two candidates.
Of
Look
course.
at the values.
Please.
And see what values most closely align with their own. And
Exactly.
that will help them to make the choice.
Exactly.
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, there's a lot of people asking about why we don't speak in Spanish. Well, let me explain to them. No hablamos español. La entrevista la tenemos que hacer en inglés porque la señora Biden obviamente no habla español o no es tan fluida en su español. Pero luego vamos a subtitular la entrevista en mis redes. Yo la voy a subtitular y vamos a hacer una síntesis para los que no están hablando inglés y que no están entendiendo. Les vamos a hacer un subtitulaje. So don't worry, we'll take care of you. Now, talking about our audience and the Latinos, can you talk about the importance of the Latino vote? I mean, why should Latinos support your husband?
Because I think it's a clear choice that, Joe cares about the Latino community, and, there's so many Latinos. I forget the percentage, what it is, that of the Latino community is growing.
Yeah,
And
55 million in the U.S. Imagine.
Yes. And so Joe wants to make sure that, that everyone gets equal education, that everyone gets health care. I mean, that that people who come to this country have a pathway to citizenship. That I went to Matamoros, on the border of Texas last Christmas. I served a Christmas meal, and I saw so many people who, were trying to get asylum seekers, trying to get into our country. And the United States last Christmas was saying, no, you stay in Mexico. You cannot cross the border, even though horrible things had happened to them. But Joe is saying, come. I mean, we are a country of immigrants. My grandfather was Gaetano Giacoppa. I mean, I'm a good Italian girl. So, so we're all immigrants, right? Joe's great-grandparents were from Ireland. And so we would be, if Joe's president, he will be welcoming to other people who want to come to our country. Because right now, I don't think that most Americans feel like they can achieve the American dream.
Yes.
But I think under Joe's administration, under a Biden administration, that will be possible once again. And so I think that's so important to people. I mean, that the students I teach mostly immigrants and refugees. I'm a community college professor, as you probably figured out from the, you know, the Democratic National Convention. And I hear about their struggles and what they want, and they really want to lift up their families. And for most people, the way you do that is through education. And so he wants to offer those opportunities to all Americans,
It's the American dream that brought us all here. It's the reason why we're here. And I want to ask you, as a teacher, how does the current situation make you feel in terms of students lacking opportunities because of a lack of resources?
Well, that's one thing this pandemic has definitely shown us, that not all children have equal education. Not, you know, Joe wants to put broadband all across America so that all kids can have access to the internet. He wants to make sure all kids have laptops. He wants to make sure that there's universal education, starting with little children and go up until community college, free community college, which is one of the things we started in the Obama-Biden administration, and I've been working so hard to get. And because that's where I teach, and I see how my students struggle to pay for college and pay for their books and, you know, pay for all the services. So there's so much to do, but it takes leadership. It comes from the top. It comes from the top.
Of course.
And that's why I'm working so hard every single day. I'm traveling to Michigan and Arizona and Maine, and I mean, just every day I'm traveling.
We know.
I know. We know. We see you.
We know.
I have another question. We have a baby girl. She's 6 years old, and we're concerned. I mean, can you talk a little bit about how President Biden would bring us back from this pandemic and get our children back in classrooms safely?
Yeah, I mean, we must end this pandemic because our economy depends on it. And we can't help people get back to school, get back to their businesses, get back to their jobs unless we end the pandemic. So Joe wants to provide resources so that to small businesses, resources to schools, to make sure that the kids, I mean, like your little girl, what happens if she goes to school and she forgets her mask one day or falls on the street or whatever? They need to have extra masks and social distance the kids and make sure that they have dividers if they need them in the classroom. So there's so much that needs to be done, but we need a leader who is saying, okay, maybe you're not happy wearing a mask. Don't do it then for you. Do it for your neighbor who's going through chemotherapy, whose immune system is compromised. Do it for the, you know, for the woman down the street who's in her 80s and she can't be around her grandchildren because, you know, everybody should wear a mask. So
Absolutely.
He's going to promote that and listen to the doctors and the experts. And when they say, Joe, the kids can go back to school, people can go back to work, then he'll listen to them. Everything is based on science. And that's the difference between Joe Biden and the president we have right now. Joe believes in science.
Absolutely. No, and that's the way it is. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but it's we need to do that. I mean,
and we're on this together, and the only way we're going to get through this is together, all of us together. This is not just about one person or myself. This is about helping each other and doing this together. Right. I must ask you, because this is the top issue for us, the top priority, and I wrote it down. Yes, and I wrote it down, and I want to read it because I want to get every single word. I know that you're aware of the inhumane family separation policy created by the current administration. This is an issue that keeps us up every single night. We think about these kids and we think about these families every single day. And we just saw a report by the ACLU in a court filing submitted this week that they have been unable to find the parents of 545 children who were separated at the border by Trump and his administration. I guess what I want to ask you is, as a woman, as a teacher, as a human being, as a mother, how does this make you feel? And when elected, is this something you will want to fix?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know whether you saw the debate last night when they talked about the children and the article that you're referring to. But I think there was a universal gasp from around the world when we heard about these kids who have been separated from their parents, and they're still there after all these months and months and months. And it's heartbreaking.
These kids are going to be traumatized. They're going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Yep. And we have to find their parents. We must.
Absolutely.
We must.
Yes.
We must unite them. And as a mother, you know yourself, I mean, how could you even stand it to have your child taken from your arms and taken from you? It's just, look, I've lost a child. You know, our son died through cancer. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it just, you know,
I can't even imagine.
It leaves a hole in your heart that it never gets filled. You know, it's,
of course. So, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
So I don't know what the parents, I don't know whether the parents are afraid to come forth and claim the children. I don't know whether they know where their children are, whether they're, I mean, it's so complicated, but I promise you, we will not let those children, we will do everything possible to find those parents for those children, of those children.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Biden, I know we're running out of time. One last question. For the past 4 years, I really don't recognize this country anymore and who we are, what we stand for. We're acting really small. Many of us have friends and family who are, unfortunately, strong Trump supporters. And, you know, let's just say holiday dinners, friendly reunions haven't been the same over the last 4 years. There is so much animosity and division in America. I mean, how can we come together again? How will you and Joe Biden unite again this country? Because this is the United States of America.
That's right.
United.
How will you do that?
And I think you heard Joe say, and he says over and over again, he will be a president for all Americans, even those Americans who don't vote for him. He will be their president too. And one of Joe's strengths, and I can tell you this as his wife, one of his strengths is bringing people together, you know, and he listens and he hears them, and then he tries to create compromise so that people feel heard. And so that's what he's known for. And when he was in the United States Senate, when he was also when he was the vice president, he was known for that, you know, and so that's what I look forward to, because I think so many people like both of you are so upset, like, what's wrong? What has happened to our country? This is not the country that we know.
No.
We don't like this hatred and this division.
No.
We have to have hope, because like I said before, this comes from the top. It comes from the leadership.
Yes.
The leader, the president, sets the tone of the country.
Yes.
And so that's why I think Joe Biden will offer all Americans hope, because that's what I think Americans are looking for right now, today. Hope and calm and steady leadership. And that's that's what my husband will bring.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Remain hopeful. And vote.
Yes. Yes,
will.
of course. Thank you so much, Dr. Biden, for your time and for this lovely conversation. Hopefully we'll meet soon.
Hopefully. Thank you very much. Thank you. Say hi to Joe, please.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Y gracias a toda la gente que se conectó con nosotros y que nos acompañó en esta charla, en esta conversación. Muy importante. no solamente para los Estados Unidos y para los que vivimos en Estados Unidos. Todo lo que sucede aquí impacta directa o indirectamente a todos nuestros países en Latinoamérica. Así que no se trata nada más de los que estamos de este lado, sino también de nuestras familias y nuestros amigos, nuestra gente allá en todos nuestros países. Y por eso es que es tan importante para nosotros pues poder conectar, poder llevarles estas charlas para que ustedes tengan la mayor información posible para votar, los que sí pueden votar. Nosotros no podemos votar todavía, pero por eso ustedes son nuestra voz. Ustedes, los que sí pueden votar, tienen una gran responsabilidad de ejercer su derecho, de ir a votar y de hacerse escuchar.
Y así como dice Ale, no solamente los que viven en este país, toda la familia, toda la gente que vive en México, en Latinoamérica, todos los inmigrantes que tienen familiares en toda Latinoamérica, es importantísimo el próximo presidente, porque muchas de las cosas que pasan en Estados Unidos afectan al resto de Latinoamérica y al mundo entero. De repente hay veces que veo al presidente actual, a Trump, ¿por qué no decirlo? Tuitear y dices, Dios mío, a ver si no desata un día una guerra mundial. Entonces es importante y de verdad, voten por quien quieran, pero voten. También
exacto, voten, todos los que sí puedan.
Pero no sean egoístas, no hay que ser egoístas, hay que pensar de repente, ahora que he visto que hay mucho apoyo a Donald Trump en Florida, por ejemplo, me cuesta trabajo entender, a veces pregunto, investigo qué es lo que motiva a ciertas personas a votar por ciertos candidatos y a veces hay que ser un poquito más inclusivos, hay que pensar en toda la comunidad latina, no nada más en lo que nos conviene a unos. Ojalá que tomen una buena decisión y lo más importante, voten por quien quieran, pero voten.
Y gracias por conectarse. ¡Mua! Les mandamos muchos besos.
Besos, gracias por estar conectados. Abrazos.
Bye.
Ahora